I wanted to do MBA. I thought IIMs, everyone, those days, even today, an IIM MBA, obviously, to the world, are the best paying jobs. But my father did not have the money to pay the fees. And the cheapest course those days and even today is a chartered accountancy course. Fortunately, it is still cheap.
On behalf of Essar Advisors LLP, we sincerely appreciate your valuable time in sharing your professional journey with us on the theme Corporate World Unseen Depth.
So my corporate journey starts straight from passing the CA examination, and I joined as a management trainee company called Hindustan Unilever. Was very famous for management, and so perhaps it is rated as the best employer, surely in India, if not in the world. So that's how I started. The advantage of Hindustan Unilever, those days it used to be called Hindustan Lever, was that they used to train a trainee or a management trainee in different departments. So 2 months in a factory, 3 months in a profit center, 2 months in purchasing, 3 months in insurance. So it used to be an 18 months training period where the trainee would go through various functions of the professional journey. Now, they never used to use the word management trainee finance. They used the word management trainee commercial, which means finance, to my mind, is rather restricted. The moment you do the word or use the word commercial, it adds purchase, it adds insurance, it adds logistics, and it also adds legal or corporate legal to some extent. So this, to my mind, God was very kind to give me a training in perhaps the best company in India in various functions. And as I went through the journey in levers for 19 years, every 3 years I used to get a new job. A new job means new function. So first job was a profit center, which was about 2.5 years. Then I went to a factory, which is manufacturing, FMCG. Then I went to the profit center chemicals, completely different product. Then I went for 3 years as a CFO in exports, completely different function. And then I moved to as a general manager, mergers and acquisition, completely different function. So this, to my mind, is what provided a great advantage of not only looking at different functions, but different products. First was FMCG, toothpaste, soap, detergents, shampoo. Then moved to chemicals. Chemicals include various types of chemicals and fertilizer. Then moved to exports. Export included not only FMCG products, but also basmati rice, thermometers, carpets, those areas where normally we would not deal with. Then moved to mergers and acquisition, which is completely different genre. So to cut the long story short, my first life in levers was a training ground of a sort to provide me inputs into various functions and various business groups. After 19 years, I moved to steel. I moved as a managing director to Arcelor-Mittal in Germany. That's steel, FMCG to steel. And that also abroad in a country called Germany. After a year or so in Germany, I was also involved in mergers and acquisition from steel and worked to acquire one of the largest steel companies in Romania. After acquisition of Romanian steel company, I ran the steel company once. After this Romanian steel plant was acquired, I was also given the responsibility to look after the downstream operations of steel in the North and South America. So again, many more geographies got added. Came back to India and joined a completely different business, a company called Thomas Cook, one of the world's largest holiday company. So I joined a holiday company, and that Thomas Cook was also having foreign exchange business. After 2 years of being an executive director in Thomas Cook, I moved to another, again at a steel company, which was Essar Steel. Hardcore manufacturing, steel making, selling, marketing. Executive Director, Essar Steel. Then very strangely, I moved to another completely different business called Renewable Energy. I joined as Executive Director and CFO and member of the board of Suzlon Energy, which is a renewable energy company. Those days, it was the world's third largest renewable company, a renewable energy company. In the last 10 years, I ran completely different business, which is PVC, polyvinyl chloride. It's a form of plastic. This is used for packing, mostly used for packing, primary packing of tablets and capsules. So God has been kind in my view to not only provide me with inroads or understanding of different types of businesses, but also different type of functions. And that, if this sort of experience somebody gets, I think someone would be very lucky to do so, and one should take it.
So in short, I will say you have traveled all across functions, you have traveled all across sectors, you have hands on every field of the profession. हम बोलते हैं ना CMA की एक सब्जेक्ट का स्पेशलाइजेशन हो गया, पर आपका सब में स्पेशलाइजेशन.
Actually, specialization किसी को करना ही नहीं चाहिए. In our business of finance, commercial, unlike in case of medicine, where specialization is very important, an MBBS doctor is not as good as a specialist in respiratory or dermatology and so on and so forth. But in our business, in our profession, it is good to be, that's what I feel, and maybe it is a little controversial. Jack of all trades is very good. Why? There is a reason behind that. If you are targeting, or if you are speaking to chartered accountants or cost accountants or company secretaries, we have two options. Option one, to do practice, be a practitioner, or join a company, be a professional executive. When we join, our goal is definitely to occupy the corner room. First corner room is CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and the better and the larger corner room is CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Now, who will become the CFO? A CFO is a person who understands the company 360 degrees. Based accounting, finance, MIS, purchase, sales, logistics, law to some extent, legal as I meant, a little bit of HR. How on earth can a person be able to understand all this unless he or she is trained in these? So if you are a jack of all trades, I wouldn't say master of none, because even if you're a jack of all trades, I'm quite sure some mastery always happens as you go along. The chances of occupying the CFO's cabin and then the CEO's cabin is the brightest. So this is what I have found out in a professional career. It could be a little different in case of a professional career, but even there, I have a different view from many professional persons. I have seen professional accountants are expert in direct tax, many expert in indirect tax, some expert in internal audit, some in statutory audit, some in mergers and acquisitions. But what is a client looking for? Mostly a client, usually an MSME, not a large client, but MSME sector, which is 95% of the crowd. 90 to 95% of the crowd is looking for a holistic solution. So if I can go to a chartered accountant, or cost accounting company secretary and say that this is my problem, can you give me a holistic solution? And if you can provide a holistic solution because you understand direct, indirect tax, internal audit, statutory audit, finance, accounting, just imagine the value you will add to your client. why is McKinsey different from other consultancy firms? How can McKinsey charge 10x or 20x fees, if not higher? Because McKinsey or BCG-like companies provides a 360-degree solution to a client. Whereas you and me perhaps cannot, because we are giving one solution and not a 360-degree solution. My submission to each one who is viewing this video or this webinar is, please prepare yourself for a 360-degree solution provider to your client. The client could be an employer, a client could be a client, as we say in the practicing world.
So the client will get all the solution at the one place itself. So he has not to move one place, second place, third place. So that's
yes. Let me give you another anecdote. If you have a problem, I think the first in body, physically, the first port of call should be an MBBS doctor or a house physician. A house physician will try to find out आपका problem कहाँ है? सिर पे है? Is it in the head? Is it in the stomach? Is it in the any part of the body, in the legs? And then he or she will advise, ये दवाई ले लो, please take this medicine. शायद ये solve हो जाएगा, it will get solved. He can, or the medical advisor or the house physician can also say, no, I think you have a major problem in your head, in your brain or something, and please rush to a specialist. Then I go to a specialist, but I actually know that someone has looked at me holistically. So I am suggesting we should be a holistic solution provider, and when required, we should suggest a specialist to address a special problem.
as you progress from the grassroots to a leadership position in a corporate world, what you have been your notable experience and lessons gained from your corporate journey thus far?
As I said, my journey in the corporate world, which has distinguished, in my view, the performers from so-called non-performers, are a performer is able to look at a business problem from an entrepreneurial angle. That means how to solve a problem. Every day we are exposed to problems, every damn day. And we have to now think through how to solve it. And the solution cannot be one-sided, accounting solution or finance solution or taxation solution. Solutions are always holistic, which means you may have to recruit a person, you may have to go to R&D, you may have to do a manufacturing adjustment, you may have to do a marketing bit, you have to get some finance done, and you have to run it through an MI in system as it's called. Therefore, I have, in my experience, found people who have been able to behave an entrepreneur, provide a holistic solution, are the best performers. But to add to all this, two other additional support these people must have. One, a person who is very positive, having positive bent of mind. Many a times you would have seen in your life, very senior guys will tell you, oh, nahi ho sakta hai, this cannot be done. There is nothing in the world which is not possible. Even the word impossible is I am possible. Everything is possible. It may not be possible short term, but maybe it is possible in the medium and long term. Maybe it is not possible in the current context, but maybe it is possible when the context changes or you do something different. Therefore, a positive bent of mind of a manager is very important. You or I could be very efficient, knowledgeable in our work, but unless we are positive in saying, yes, let me give it a try and let me say that it can be done, is what makes a difference. And the third attribute, which is very important, is we need to be people's person. Very important, being a people's person. We need to motivate others. People should be able to enjoy your and my company. People should be able to work you and me. People should be able to look forward to working with Mr. Agarwal. So if people are willing to work with you, willing to listen to you. You are able to motivate them. You are able to put them together. That's called leadership. And unless we are a leader, we are nobody. That's what we are supposed to be. So, work knowledge. 2, being of positive bent of mind. Think like an entrepreneur. And 3, be a people's person is what I learned to make a successful career.
So, sir, you authored 3 best-selling books, has provided diversified perspective of the corporate world. Can you offer insight into the instances where the public image of a company di- diverged from its internal reality, or where ethical dilemmas conflicted with the corporate ambitions?
I have written 3 books, just to summarize. My first book is called Who Cheats and How. It's on business scams and dark side of the corporate world. That was my first book. The second book is called Who Blunders and How. That's on business mistakes, which got published about 3 years back. And the latest one is called Corporate Frauds, Bigger, Broader and Bolder. That just got published about a few months back. All the 3 books, fortunately, with God's grace, has been bestsellers. Now, what does these books convey? First, I've written the book in such a way that all of us, Tom, Dick and Harry, Aam Janta as we say, normal, common human beings, are able to understand. Each book has loads and loads of stories. 300 plus stories each book. So there are about 900 to 1,000 stories. Because we always love to read stories. We don't want to read gyan. We don't want to read advices. So therefore, these are books which conveys through stories what went wrong. Please understand, my books so far are negative books. Means business scams, business frauds, and business mistakes. These are attributes or things or characteristics which we should avoid, which we should not fall into the pit, which we should not stumble upon and make a mess of our business. The bad news is there are almost no books on the topics, almost none. And the good news is, I have written one. Well, that's on a lighter side. So, whoever would read these books, and my submission is each one should read, because it will not take too much time to read these, and not too expensive either. And these are very easily worded, short sentence, short paragraphed approach, giving loads and loads of stories, practical stories with names of companies, should be able to run a business better. In my life, I have seen companies indulging in short-term activities, either committing frauds or of course making huge mistakes, and that could be many. And that's what these books are focused upon, to make our life easier, to make our business do better, and to avoid pitfalls which others have got into and incurred huge quantum of losses. This is what these books contain.
While writing these books, what common things you have noticed that many and majority of the big short companies have done so to achieve their ambitions, like Satyam, Ranback to that Dinesh Thakur has opened this scenario, and this Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. So what are the common things in all the frauds you have noticed?
Whether it is Satyam, Vijay Mallya, or for that other, there are so many others. If you see the common theme, or Nirav Modi, I think that's what you mentioned, the common theme have been they wanted to become rich faster. They wanted to become rich by not going to the grind of doing business. Nothing can be done. There is nothing can be done which is a short term or in very quickly. It all takes time. Success takes time. Success cannot be, even if you want to ride, even if you want to go to the height of a mountain and climb the steepest mountain, you have to go to the climb. You can't say, I will go to the helicopter and get dropped on the mountain peak. That is no climbing. You have to actually climb. So you have to go to the grind. And several times you have to fall and go up, fall and go up. All these three examples which you gave, they thought that I can do things faster. So what they did, what did Satyam do? Satyam doctored, manipulated his balance sheet. Satyam had about 50 crores of cash balance. He said, I have 5,000 crore of cash balance. Satyam may have 2,000 crores of sales. He said, I have 50,000 crore of sales. So that misled people. They said they lied in what their profits are. What did Vijay Mallya do? He took money from the banks. Last count is 7,500 crores. That's what the official number is. And he ran away with the money. Well, basically what we hear, he money laundered it. When he got the loan, he said he's going to use for the Kingfisher Airlines. But the money he drew from the banks were not used for Kingfisher Airlines. It was used for other purposes. That's lying. What did Nirav Modi do? Nirav Modi bribed the banking system, which is Punjab National Bank in this particular case, and he structured letters of credits worth 11,000 crores over 7 years without providing backup or mortgage or hypothecation or security behind these letters of credit. So years on years and years, he kept on drawing letters of credit. He encashed those letters of credit internationally, and he did not pay the local bank, which is PNB Fort Branch, Mumbai. And he did not return the money, only to get caught a few years back, saying that the court that he did not honor the letters of credit which we drew. Again, he beat the system. He tried to beat the system. He actually beat the system by suitable bribing at the ground level. And of course, the managers of the bank were also got involved. Otherwise, it's not possible. So in all the three cases, they either tried to beat the system or tried to paint a better picture than the reality is. Satyam. Beating the system is Nirav Modi, and doing the fraud, running away with the money, was Vijay Mallya. Each of these cases, you will find these entrepreneurs wanted to become rich overnight. Short-term view versus long-term vision.
But one thing I still not able to understand the things. All these people, they are high-profile people, most knowledgeable, and they have reached to a certain position from a ground level, majority of the case, and they have reached certain heights already. Then what make them to be a number one or number two, or what influenced them to do this? And what they got? What they got?
Called greed. 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 You would find people around you, and you may be knowing also people around you who are doing very well, but still they will lie. Still they will do shortcuts. Still they will do certain things which you think he or she should not have done. Why they do it? There was no reason for them to do it. Greed. Greed, greed. They just want to do something faster. They just want to beat the system. They also perhaps are guided by two other things, two other reasons. Is one, peer pressure. That means someone else is doing better than me. Vijay Mallya perhaps would have thought that day, Acha, Indigo is doing better than me, let me do something. SpiceJet is doing better than me, let me do something. So peer pressure is definitely another reason. And number 3, possibility that I can do it, nobody will catch me. We do it ourselves. Think of ourselves. You are driving a car, there is a red light. You want to stop. You see there is no policeman. We drive through. Why do we do that? Because you think I can do it, nobody will catch me. But we should have abided by the red light. We should have stopped at the red light. In international world, people honor red lights because they know there is a camera behind. I will be fined. So if you know that you may get caught because there is a camera, you will abide by the red light signal discipline. But in some countries you will not. So the possibility of not getting caught, peer pressure and greed are the 3 burning ingredients to make this world worse.
So, sir, my last question in this series is that what the India has to change so that they will fear that they will caught 100%, so that these frauds will be stopped.
There is no legal system, no system in the world as it stands that you can make the system foolproof. There are jails and prisons all around. Can it prevent a person not to carry out a theft or to carry out a murder? Those people can see the jail, but they are still murdering or carrying out an arson or a theft, thinking I shall not get caught. I am very intelligent, I will not get caught. So the way to at least partially cleanse the corporate world is to do something called naming and shaming. If you are caught, if somebody is caught doing something wrong, he or she should be named and shamed, which is still not happening as much as it should. Unless this is done in a concerted manner, the world will not be clean of these scamsters and fraudsters. Unfortunate truth is that.
So it's really hard to stop all this for a long time. Okay. So, sir, ESG is relatively a new concept. Could you share examples of situations where corporates have favored profits over responsible environmental practices, shedding light on this issue? Because ESG is
environment, social and governance. If the mankind does not behave responsibly still, we will not be able to answer our children and grandchildren. You are aware that Pakistan has become a bankrupt country. Pakistan was not bankrupt last year. A rain and flood made that country bankrupt. Shimla, which is the north of India, perhaps the best hill station of the world, it is inaccessible as I'm talking to you today. This is what is happening to the environment, to the world. The unfortunate truth is, we as human beings have still not understood the truth. Hundreds and thousands of corporations and companies are doing business by polluting our nature. Have you seen, and you must have seen yourself, and whoever will be watching this video must be aware, that have you seen a car standing somewhere, the driver is inside, the engine is on, but it is standing, it is parked. The car is parked, the driver is inside, the air condition is on, the glasses are up, and the driver inside is enjoying the air-conditioned environment. Nobody is telling him or her to stop the engine because we are not concerned. We don't even know what damage that car is doing to the environment. It is not running, it is stopped. that car is generating CO2 and carbon monoxide. That gas is actually creating global warming. It's as simple as that. That when you and me stop on the wayside and put the engine on because we think we are getting cold breeze, you are polluting the air every minute. We are not aware. Have you seen, I would name those plants all around? You will see black smoke, brown smoke coming out. How many see, wherever you are, go out of the city and see brown and black smoke being belched out. That's polluting. I don't need to name the companies. It is all around us. We are all behaving, not all, but many of us, unfortunate truth is most of us are behaving irresponsibly. Forget about governance. Forget about theory. Forget about fraud. That is governance. Forget about social, which is taking care of my employees well, giving great salaries, good salaries. But most important is E, environment. If we don't protect our environment, where will our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren live? We are still not concerned. Or most of us are still not concerned. I know it's a harsh word to say. We will say, no, we are concerned. Maybe we are concerned, but not as much concerned as what we should be concerned. Global warming is a fact of life. Just see, this is 2023 August. How much flood has just happened in the last 15 days? Okay, now this is the rainy season. In the month of July, India was monsoon surplus, plus 5%. In the month of August, today is end of August 2023, already India is monsoon deficit. Such is the situation because we are not able to predict the nature anymore. Nature, God is not behaving the way we want. Just now, the summer in Europe is going through the worst ever summer they have encountered. More the summer height of temperature, the agricultural produce have all got destroyed. Just now in India, we had a tomato crisis. Tomatoes were priced, which used to be 20-30 rupees a kg. It was 10x price. Why? Because the rain god hit and tomatoes got crushed and all tomatoes got finished. We have now no control over nature. We have now no control over rain god. We have no control over the mother nature. ESG is no longer a word to discuss. ESG is something now need to all compulsorily execute, which is not happening. And you asked a question, do you have examples? People are not doing it. You can see the example in your own eyes. Go out of your city or inside the city yourself, you will find people are flouting E, the ESG rule, which is the environment rule. Matter is very, very serious. We better take note of it. Otherwise, including us, forget about our children and grandchildren, including us, we don't know whether we will have enough food, we will have enough roads and land, we will have enough rainfall, enough water to last and survive.
So this is because we are increasing by population and there is no land or space for accommodating. So they are cutting the trees and they are and in the village also many of the people are thinking that doing a farming job is a very clerical job. We need to do a corporate job or something like that. Maybe that is also the
whatever jobs we are doing, whether we are an agriculturist, whether we are an office job, whether we have a corporate job, whatever job we are doing, we now need to just ensure that we are carbon neutral. That means we don't add more carbon to the nature. It is important as we add carbon to the nature, the global warming is taking place, and as global warming is taking place, the rainfall, the cloud movement, the breeze movement, the wind movement is changing. And because of that, the summer and the winter temperatures are changing. The rainfalls are either happening too much or not happening at all. So all of us, doesn't matter we are in city or villages, there is whether we are doing agriculture, not agricultural job, we just have to ensure we are not generating more carbon or carbon monoxide. We have to be neutral. And in each other's behavior, we have to now, each one of us have to be sensible. The world has 700 crore of people, each one of that, 7 billion of us, actually 7.8 billion of us, must be now responsible citizens of wherever we live. It cannot be that America will take care of India will not, or India will take care of America will not. That will no longer work. Each one of us have to just be responsible, socially responsible human being, not to add more carbon or carbon dioxide, carbon footprint on this earth.
So that is also one of the reasons that all the foreign companies first ensure that we are ESG compliant, then only they will do the investment.
Whether we like it or not, that's the right thing to do. Yes, that's the right thing to do. It is definitely affecting many of our exports, because Europe has just said, unless you are compliant, we will not be able to import from you. It is hitting us badly. Unfortunate truth is that. But yes, someone has to start first. And wherever such movements take place to make ESG or environment or carbon neutrality very important, it is going to hit someone for sure, because we have not been responsible so far. So we can't now use dirty fuel, coal, oil. These are dirty fuel. These are actually generating carbon footprint every moment, every hour, every minute. We have to move to renewable energy. Not easy to say. Coal, wind, solar, atomic energy, that is a clean energy. We need to move. Hydro of course is a mixed bag, but of course it's more green than anything else. We need to move to these areas. It's not easy. You see, the first battle, Arjit, is awareness. Each one of us needs to be aware the matter is now very, very difficult. It is very important and very serious. The seriousness, if people understand, I think all of us will become more responsible. So people like you should disseminate this knowledge, this awareness to as many people as possible. We can't also, of course, address to 7.8 billion, but even if we can add a few million, a few lakhs, we would have done, at least taken a baby step.
Right. So that is also the reason that we are moving towards electric cars, electric scooters, so that we can control the environment. So my last question is, as a seasoned business leader, what guidance would you offer to inspiring leaders as they navigate the landscape of corporate reality while upholding a strong foundation of ethical values, especially for a newly qualified chartered accountant? Because in what I'm noticing is, because previously I was also doing a job, but my focus is in the initial year is to have a learning perspective, not as a package perspective. But now in many of the young professionals, they want that package should be doubled, tripled, and their passion of learning is not so much as life.
My advice to all freshly qualified accountants, be it CA, cost, or company secretary, or whichever profession you are, MBAs, doesn't really matter what examination you passed. That's just incidental. My few submissions are: do whatever job you get. Whatever job you get, do it. Let us assume you are an MBA qualified in marketing. And I have noticed people who have done, students who have done MBA marketing, they feel, you know what, I will do product management from now. I will do strategy from now. How the hell would you do strategy when you don't even know how to sell? So the first job should be to sell your product. So take a salesperson's job. And if you are getting a salesperson job, take it. Let's say you are a CA. How can I do a merger and acquisition when you don't even know how a real life balance sheet looks like? So join an accounting department where you will do basic accounting. Join an internal audit department where you will do basic internal audit, maybe vouching job itself. So take as whatever job you get and don't be choosy, because every job, even a cleaning job, provides you with a learning how to clean well. So learn how to do your job well. Second, whatever job you get, learn the tricks of the job very well. Ask your senior how to do the job well. How do let us assume for a moment you are in now financial accounts department of a company. Now financial accountant has nothing to do with management accounting, nothing to do with taxation. But normally you will be in a room with a lot of other people. Go to other colleagues and ask what they are doing. Speak to the direct tax guy. Speak to the indirect tax guy. Speak to the MIS person. Speak to your boss. Speak to others to understand what they are doing. Soon you will find you are getting a holistic understanding of the business. Number 3, difficult one. Now the third one is difficult to implement, is try to do a job for 3 years. Every 3 years, change. At least tell your employer, can you give me another department, sir? Can you give me another function, madam? If you're in practice, at least change the client you're handling. Don't handle the same client for more than 3 years. The moment you handle another client, it will be another experience or group of clients. I would love to say, but I'm sure many of our chartered accountant friends may not like to hear this. After 3 years of indirect taxation, why can't we do 3 years or 4 years of direct taxation? Both you know, both you have studied. It is sheer luck that you have studied indirect taxation, because maybe your father was doing indirect taxation, or you got your friends who started with indirect taxation. 3, 4, 5 years move to direct taxation. After 5 and 5, direct and indirect, move to M&A. Move to internal audit. Why not? What prevents you from doing it? It's a mindset that no, I am an expert. So maybe many of you may not like this advice of mine, but more functions and more number of jobs you do, more holistic person you will become. And believe me, you will enjoy it also. Because every day you are learning new things. Otherwise it gets boring. If I am in indirect taxation for 20, 30 years, isn't it very boring? I think it is. Direct taxation for 40 years, it's very boring. So I feel. Of course, you are a great expert on direct and indirect taxation. But what about others? The world that's one microbe of the whole world. One microbe of the whole world. So why can't we be more contributory to the world than the little microbe we have handled? So one, take the job, whatever you get, learn it very well, try to do a job every 3 or 4 years, different function. 4, ask your peers. Your best ambassadors are your friends. Do you know when you go for a bigger job, let's say you go for a very senior position, normally the headhunter or placement manager would do a reference check. Do you know who they do the reference check from? They don't do reference check from the boss, because normally they will not go into the boss. They will do reference check from your friends. Your friends are the best person who knows how good or bad you are. So please try to ask your friends, what do you think about me? Where do I improve? Don't ask, what am I good at? Forget it. What am I bad at? Ask your friends. They know you the best. Your friends are your best bet for improvement. They will tell you, believe me, they will tell you unashamedly that, you know what, Robin, maybe you speak too much. You know, Robin, you get angry very fast. Whatever, they will give me my bad points. Others may not. My subordinates will not. And my superiors, perhaps they don't even care. But my friends care about you and me. So get your feedback of improvement from your friends, because that is definitely worth in gold. And the last one, as I said earlier, please have a very positive attitude. Everything is possible. Main kar lunga, I will do it. This attitude you must have. Problems you will get, but don't say, oh, this cannot be done, my boss is bad, the world is falling apart, this India is a bad country or whatever, I should go there, this company is bad. No, no, everything is good. Nothing will change. You have to change yourself. Be positive. Think that everything can be possible, and believe me, it is possible. And the moment you are positive in mind and positive bent of mind, you will get a better sleep in the night. And why do we do all this? We do all this for our own happiness. And what brings us most happiness? A good night sleep.
Thank you. But one thing you told that every 3 years you have to move your clients. For small practitioners or for 2-3 partners, it practically will not be possible. So they will have to do all the work like GST, accounts, and audit. And then for them, what you think should be more creative so that they will be more motivated in 3-4 years? Because the for taxation aspect or for every client, trust is more important, and they will retain for 40 years, 30 years, and for the next generation also. So movement of clients, it's really a challenge. But what you think suggest they will do, so they will be more creative. So they will not feel bored. Like in corporate, we used to change the profiles.
The change can happen for a practicing professional like you. Change can happen not only through clients, but change can happen also from functions. Let us say for the first 3 or 4 years, you are looking at indirect taxation, just for instance. And you are thinking that, oh, Mr. Banerjee said that every 3-4 years, I need to change something. I would suggest don't change client, because client is your God. But can you tell the client, can you at least try to, you are a CEO or a cost accountant, let's say, and I'm sure there is no client in the world who does not want to reduce their cost. So can you work with the client to reduce their cost? This is a different function. You continue your indirect taxation, but you tell your client, I understand money, I understand accounts, I understand business. Give me an opportunity to see whether I can reduce your cost. You will be surprised that you will be able to reduce his cost. And soon you may be a cost reduction expert. No client perhaps will say, no, how can you reduce my cost? No, you don't need to. Simple, very simple, reduce your cost. Another thing, I'm not saying you need to get into internal audit, but at least can I now tell my client, can I look at your business processes so that I can optimize it? I can make it more simple, I can make it more faster, I can make it more meaningful for you. Why should a client say, no, I don't need something? Because the client has trust in you. The client has given his money information to you and he has so much of trust in you, or she has so much trust in you. Taking advantage of the trust, can you look at other functions of the client where you believe you can add value? You know the client the best. He is your principal, or she is your principal. Small little steps of going away from your routine not only will give you satisfaction, but you will become a mini McKinsey sooner than later. Maybe one day we'll say, thank you so much, Mr. Banerjee. I'm now making a lot of money. Who knows?
No, I'm saying thank you to right now itself. And one thing, one of my friends, he was working in a corporate. So he was working in a corporate for beginning till date, around 10 to 12 years. He called me one day that I want to change my job. So I asked him, what is the reason you changing the job? So his reply is that all of my friends and that relatives are saying that you will not change the job. Why you are not changing the job? It's already 10 years. Everyone changed the job in 3 to 4 years. Then you have to change the job. So what is your replies to this? Do you think that in a corporate, according to me, changing a job is a point of time when there is a conflict with the boss, or where there is a conflict with the compensation? You are working so hard, but you are not getting to that extent. Then that is the point you have to change the job, or you are getting pressurized or not acceptable conditions. Then the changing a job is a correct way. But that I am working for 10 years, 5 years. That is, I think, you think that there is a point to change the job?
Um, a person looks for changing of job precisely for the reasons which you just said. The environment may not be good. The boss is very toxic. He or she is not getting promotion, others are getting promoted. And of course, I'm not getting a fair remuneration. So these are the ticking point, or these are the tipping point, as it said, as it is stated, that when a person starts looking for a job. Another tipping point could be that I'm doing the same job for last 10 years. मैं बोर हो गई. I am bored out of the same job. Again, another tipping point for changing the job. So changing a job always is instigated by something which is mostly internal in nature. It could be environment, money, job opportunities, growth opportunities, and so on and so forth. So nothing wrong with it. But if a company is taking care of that, a fair remuneration, good environment, fair deal, every 4, 5 years, 6 years, new function, then why should you change a job?
So that's the only. I also replied the same, that you are growing with the company, you're enjoying with the company, you are getting a good package. So there is no point of changing a job. Uh, your friend is saying that you have to change, doesn't mean that you have to change. There should be a proper reason for changing a job. So it's really nice talking to you, sir. So anything which I missed out asking you, and you want to convey or say something?
I think I've asked almost everything. My advice to everyone, young and old, love what you are doing. Do not complain. Change yourself. World will not change around you. Learn your job well. Don't be blinkered, and try to broaden your horizon. Learning and educating has no limit. A good way of learning is by teaching. And all of you who are qualified, or whatever qualification you have, we can all teach. You can go to a school, go to a college, go to an institute and teach. Moment you start teaching, you will find that you need to learn more. The fact that you will meet youngsters, your energy levels will also go up. You will get new ways of learning things yourself. Teaching helps to learn yourself also. And try to avoid your mobile phone as much as possible. That's a very big value destroyer. Television, OTT, mobile phones are big value destroyers. I believe many of us have stopped reading. Please read. More you read, more you learn. Many of us have stopped reading the newspaper, daily newspaper, post-COVID. Newspapers are a great way to get back into the habit of reading. Mobile has taken away our reading habit. The WhatsApp messages have taken away our reading habit. And we know everything because we get the WhatsApp messages. Believe me, you don't know much if you are only through mobile phones. And there is no end to learning. So more you learn, more you know, more you understand each other, more you understand your topic or other topics, definitely will add value. Teaching is a great opportunity to do so. Teaching also adds value to the society because we can then give it back to the society. That's what this webinar is supposed to do. Give it back to the society. That's what Arjit is trying to do. And hold a positive attitude. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Enjoy what you are doing. Love what you are doing. Have a positive attitude. Have faith in Almighty. Do thank Him or her. I've never seen the Almighty. I wish I could. I don't know if Almighty is he or she, but thank the Almighty that we're still alive and we're still there because of Almighty's blessings.
So we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your insightful and thoughtful responses. Our exchange has been incredible and enriching, and we are confident that the wisdom you have shared will serve as a wellspring of inspiration for emerging professionals. Once again, thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Arjit. God bless you. God bless you. God everyone. God bless everyone.